Chapter 10. The Rut and the Spark. The night started with laughter and wine, a warm hum of soft jazz and the smell of roasted garlic and rosemary drifting from Chris's oven like something sacred. The flat, our flat now, though we hadn't said that aloud, was full of the people who mattered most. Imogen, poised and dry as ever, in an emerald jumpsuit. Melissa, all warmth and wit. Owen and Max, Chris's best friend and brother, a mated pair who couldn't go 3 minutes without touching each other like magnets. And me, the man they were all here to celebrate. "Congratulations to Noah," Chris said, raising a glass once everyone had settled with plates of food and full hearts. Editor, survivor, and apparently the only person alive who can drink the last of my coffee without starting a war. A ripple of laughter moved through the room. I felt warm down to my bones. Safe. Wanted. And then Imogen cleared her throat dramatically. "Sorry, but before the toasts go too far, can we talk about the mystery deposit?" I blinked. "What?" She tilted her phone toward me. I pulled out mine, opened the banking app, and there it was. A deposit of £20,000. No note, no sender, ID. My stomach dropped. Chris saw my face and stood. He was already pulling me gently into the kitchen. "It's not from me," he said quietly. "I swear." Then who? The letter I had drafted, the one we sent through my lawyer's firm. He watched me carefully. Hamish paid it back. I gaped. He actually... "Claire's family doesn't like scandal," Chris said. "They would have viewed public embarrassment over stolen money from a joint account as gauche. He paid to keep the peace, but it was your money, Noah." I sat down heavily on the stool. "It's obviously my day," I muttered. Chris leaned down. "Any other requests?" I chuckled nervously as I moved back towards the dining table. Later that evening, over dessert, Max raised a glass again, this time with a grin that spelled trouble. "To Chris," he said, eyes twinkling, "for finally getting his man." Chris choked slightly. Owen snorted. Melissa raised a brow. Imogen just smiled into her wine glass like she'd known all along. "I didn't," Chris began, suddenly flushed. But Max waved a hand. "Please. You've been in love with him since Noah had braces and you had that tragic fringe." I raised a brow. "You told your brother?" "I didn't have to," Chris muttered. Max grinned at me. "We grew up watching this slow-motion mating dance. He wouldn't shut up about you." Everyone laughed, but my heart gave a strange fluttery lurch. Was it true? Was I his? By the time the dishes were cleared and the guests had gone, the flat was quiet again. I was curled up on the sofa, fingers absently running over the rim of my glass, when I noticed Chris had gone pale. "Hey," I said softly. "You okay?" He was standing by the window, still and sharp as a statue. His jaw was tight, his hands clenched. "Noah," his voice was strained. "You should go to your room. I stood immediately. "What is it?" Chris turned toward me slowly, and I felt it then. His scent, richer, deeper, intoxicating. Oh. He was going into rut. "I didn't know it was this close," he rasped. "It's early. I'm sorry. I can leave. I'll stay in a hotel." "Don't be ridiculous." "You shouldn't be near me like this." But I stepped closer. "Why not?" He closed his eyes. "Because I won't touch you unless you ask. And right now everything in me wants to. And I can't, Noah. I won't take advantage of you." His body was trembling slightly, muscles locked down, like he was holding himself together by will alone. I took another step. "You've been patient, gentle, kind. You've never asked for anything. I reached out, touched his arm. Chris groaned low in his throat like the contact physically hurt him. I stepped closer again. "You've looked after me, cared for me. You've made me feel safe." His breath hitched. "And now I want to do the same." "Noah." "I want this, Chris." That broke something. He surged forward, only to stop himself, arms shaking, hands fisted at his sides. "Are you sure?" I reached up, brushing my fingers over his jaw. "You're worth choosing. I'm choosing you." And then I kissed him. And it wasn't frantic. Not at first. It was slow, intentional. A seal on everything we hadn't dared name. Then he broke. Hands on my hips, mouth on mine like it was a question and an answer and a prayer. And when he finally let his scent pour over me, warm, primal, his, I let mine rise to meet it. And nothing else mattered. The kiss deepened, and Chris pressed me gently back against the living room wall like I was something precious. His hands slid down my sides, careful, reverent, not grabbing, memorizing. He buried his face against my neck and groaned softly. "You smell like mine." I trembled. He kissed me again, this time with more heat, more hunger. But still no rush, no tearing. He didn't devour me. He savored me. His hands ran beneath the hem of my shirt, slow enough to make me gasp. My skin lit up like kindling. The rut was pulling at his control like a tide, but he held steady. "I've wanted this for so long," he murmured, lips brushing the shell of my ear. "You have no idea." I let the shirt go, let it fall to the floor. He paused, looked. Not with lust alone, but something deeper. His eyes drank me in like I was holy. "Beautiful," he whispered. Then he dropped to his knees. My heart pounded. Chris's hands ran up the backs of my thighs, over my hips. He kissed the ridge of my hip bone, my navel. He mapped me like territory long lost and finally returned. Each kiss left fire in its wake, worship, not possession. Like I was something rare, something his. When he stood, I reached for his buttons, undressed him slowly, reverently. He let me, eyes never leaving mine, like he was memorizing every breath I took. The moment he was bare and pressed against me, skin to skin, slick against strength, I forgot to be afraid. I just felt. We found our way to the bed together, tangled in sheets and sighs. He didn't rush. He held back, even through the pulse of his rut, his movements measured, asking, letting me answer. Every time he pushed forward, I pulled him closer. Every thrust, every grind of his hips was a vow, a prayer, a promise. I came undone beneath him, not because he took, but because he gave. And when he reached his peak, buried deep, breath ragged against my throat, he groaned my name like it was the only thing anchoring him to earth. When he stilled, he kissed my forehead, my mouth, my chest. And we lay there, tangled and scent-marked, as the night exhaled around us. Chapter 11. Lines Crossed. I woke first. The room was quiet, the sheets tangled around our legs. My head rested on his chest, his heartbeat steady beneath my cheek. The scent in the air was thick, us, layered and warm, but already fading at the edges. Chris looked peaceful, lips slightly parted, one hand resting on my back like he was still holding me in his dreams. For a moment I let myself pretend it could always be like this. Then the doubt crept in. Was it just the rut? Was this real, or just biology dressing itself up as something tender? I slipped out of bed quietly, pulled on a pair of joggers, made my way to the kitchen and stared at the kettle like it held answers. I wanted to believe last night meant what I felt, that it wasn't just instinct or pheromones or heat, that Chris had meant all of it. But the voice in my head, the one Hamish had trained into me, whispered, "You're just convenient again. You were close, available, easy." I didn't hear Chris come in, but I felt it when he stopped in the doorway. "Noah?" I turned, half smiling. "Hey, sorry. Didn't mean to wake you." "You okay?" "I'm not sure yet," I said honestly. Chris crossed the room slowly, like he was trying not to scare me. "Talk to me," he said gently. "Please." And I wanted to. But some wounds don't bleed right away. Some take time to name. Chapter 11. Lines Crossed. Chris didn't press, not at first. He just stepped forward, slow and steady, until we stood inches apart in the quiet kitchen, morning light catching on his bare collarbone. "You're not regretting it," he said carefully, "but you're questioning it." It wasn't a question. It was him reading me, like he always did. I nodded once. "I don't want to reduce what happened, but I need to know it wasn't just the rut." Chris exhaled like he'd been holding the breath all night. "It wasn't." He reached up, brushed a thumb across my cheek. His hand was warm, grounding, but the touch felt more tentative now, less confident than last night. "Noah, last night wasn't instinct. It was you. It's always been you." I looked at him, really looked, and saw the truth in it. But truth didn't always silence doubt. "I don't want to become something you regret," I whispered. "Or worse. Something you only wanted when you couldn't hold back." Chris's expression cracked open, all softness and sorrow. "You think I'd regret you?" he asked, voice low and rough. "After all this time, after waiting years just to have you in my life again?" My throat tightened. "I just need time to figure out what this means," I said. Not because it wasn't good, it was... God, it was. But because it mattered. I just don't know if it mattered to you the same way. Chris stepped back, pain flickering across his face like a cloud crossing sunlight. "I understand," he said. "I do." But I could see it. The way his shoulders shifted, the subtle retreat. He didn't want to make me feel cornered, but he was hurting too. "I'm going to head out for a bit," he said finally. "Clear my head. I've got a meeting." It was a lie, a gentle one. I didn't call him on it. "Okay," I said. "Thank you for giving me space." His smile was too thin to be real. "You never have to thank me for that." The door shut behind him, and the silence that followed was cavernous. I stood there, mug in hand, tea forgotten, wondering how something so right could feel so unsteady the morning after, wondering if I'd already started to lose him. Because Chris didn't just sleep with me. He gave himself, all of him, and I'd responded with caution, with fear. I wasn't ashamed of that. Trauma doesn't disappear just because something beautiful happens. But I felt the shift now, and it scared me. Edit 29th August, Chapter 12, The Retreat. Chris didn't come home that night. He'd texted, "Don't worry about me, just needed a night at the hotel. See you tomorrow." It was kind, respectful, and so not Chris. I told myself I needed the space, that I'd asked for it, that I was being responsible with both our feelings, but the flat felt wrong without him. The air was too clean, the silence too thick. Even the faint scent of him that lingered on the couch cushions was dulling, like it knew he wasn't coming back that night. The next morning, I headed into work, my first full day since the offer. I wanted to feel proud, empowered, settled, But the minute I stepped into the building, I was watched. Claire Brown was waiting near the lifts. "Ellison," she said coolly, looking me over like I was a wine glass with fingerprints on it. "Claire," I said, offering nothing else. Her eyes narrowed. "Something new in the air," she said after a beat. "Or rather, someone." I blinked. Then I realized. She could smell Chris on me. Her lips twitched. Not quite a smile. "I wouldn't expect to hold on to someone like that," she said, voice light, almost sing-song. "He's not easily impressed. I should know. I tried once." The insinuation hit like a slap. I stepped into the lift without a word. The doors closed. And I let the silence swallow her up. Imogen found me in the kitchenette a few hours later, nursing an aggressively bad cup of tea and staring into middle distance. She didn't speak right away, just poured her own tea, leaned against the counter beside me, and waited. Then, "You slept with him?" I blinked. "How did—" "You look happier and more terrified than I've ever seen you. It's not hard to guess." I ran a hand through my hair. It was his rut. And? It meant something to me. I just don't know if it meant the same thing to him. Imogen raised a brow. "You don't know?" "He left. Because you asked for space." "But Noah," she interrupted, voice gentle but firm, "he's in love with you. Not the way Hamish used to say it. Not the way people pretend. I mean the real kind. The kind you feel. The kind that fills rooms." I swallowed hard. She wasn't wrong. 2 weeks ago, when he'd asked me to that party, when I'd nervously asked if he was sure he wanted me as his +1, I still remembered his answer. "I've waited years to be able to show people I'm yours." And now? Now I was pushing him away, not because I didn't want him, but because I didn't trust myself. Because some part of me still feared I couldn't read people right. That maybe I'd been so wrong about Hamish, I could be wrong about Chris too. "It's not him I'm doubting," I admitted aloud. "It's me." Imogen smiled, not smug, not indulgent, just kind. "Then maybe it's time to start trusting the part of you that chose him." That night, I came home to an empty flat again. I stood in the doorway for a long time, staring into the space we used to fill together. And I missed him. Not just his scent or his touch or his quiet steadiness. I missed the possibility. The future that was beginning to form when I stopped hiding behind my fear. And for the first time since the night we touched, I wanted not just to see him again. I wanted to fight for him.